What's up, guys? Welcome to today's live stream. It's a little bit late today, but I had a ton of things to do and I wasn't sure if I was going to actually get a chance to do a stream today, but I got everything done pretty much, and I wanted to turn one of those Jack's pin blanks up. So I got them cut and they look interesting. However, you probably, let's see if I can get a shot. How do I do that? Can you see the edges up here? There's like divots. These things are pretty chippy. So we'll have to see how this goes, but I got a Sierra pen blank all ready to rock. Drilling went pretty well. Cutting, like I said, little chips come out of these things. And that's probably due to the fact that the jacks were smooth. Maybe depending on what kind of material they are, maybe there was something on the surface, who knows, but we'll have to see if we can make it through. They kind of look like Fruity Pebbles to me. I don't know, something like that, like almost like cereal Fruit Loops. So anyway, excuse me. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to turn a pen up real quick. I don't have a whole lot of time since we're starting late, but hopefully we'll be able to get through this, or at least learn that we can't get through it and find out that kind of quick. But anyway, in other news, so we have the winner for the molds, and a bunch of people, I've gotten razzed by people that I guess YouTube didn't show all the comments because I entered the hashtag and there was only 2 people that entered, and it was that way through the whole week. So I don't know what happened. I'm missing comments, I guess, but that's YouTube's fault. So I don't know what to say about that. I apologize to everybody that kind of didn't get entered, I guess, but at the same time, I think that it went to a very deserving winner. So Jen, those are on the way. They're in the mail already. So we got those done. One other thing that I wanted to mention is I finally got these blanks up. So these are going to be very short runs. I'm not going to do many of these. The lines are hard to make, and I don't really make a lot of these. So. But I wanted to make some. This one is for nurses, the white with a thin red line, and this one, the blue with the white, and there's some flashing on the outside, but you can see the end. Blue with white is for emergency medical services. For some reason, I looked all over the place, and there isn't a thin line color thing for doctors. I don't know what the deal is with that. I couldn't find one anywhere. So, but these were the medical oriented ones that I could find. Obviously you have, like firemen are kind of medically oriented front lines, but I already have thin red lines. These are for the people that are kind of dealing with this whole, outbreak thing, that are treating people on kind of the front lines. And so I wanted to make some of these. They're going to be, I don't know how many I'll make overall, but I have inventory. I think I got about 10 of each one of these. So if anybody wants to pick up one of those pen blanks, they're available in my store, and I have a link to it. I haven't had a chance to post anything. I listed them, but I haven't put them, like announced them or anything like that. However, they are in my store. The other thing, we have the golf tee blanks. There's 2 of those left. I gave Josh first dibs on that, so he already picked one up. But there's 2 more golf tee stopper blanks, and we also have the aluminum crinkle ornament blanks. There's 2 of those left, like this one that I turned not too long ago. So we got 2 of those left. So those are all up. If anybody wants to snag them before I even post on social media or anything, they are available. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good today. It's, I guess it's Monday. Man, the days just keep kind of blurring together. It's getting kind of crazy. Mitch is asking, what software do I use? I use OBS, just the original one. I think if I were to get started streaming today, I might look into Streamlabs OBS, just because it's already integrated with, if you want to do the little notifications, and there's a lot of other little gamification things that Streamlabs makes that work in OBS, the original one. But I think, I don't know, they're probably well integrated into the Streamlabs OBS thing, and it's free as well. It's pretty much the same thing as OBS. My problem is when I set this up like 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4. And at this point, I don't know what some of the like super deep settings and things that I set up. I don't even know. It took a long time for me to kind of go through and get everything to work the way I wanted it to. So I just don't even want to switch or anything, and this works fine. But either one of those, Streamlabs, OBS, or just OBS, both are free. They work great. And the other nice thing about both of those programs is you could use that for just screen capture stuff. I do that sometimes for, like, when I was doing the drawing giveaway thing, I was using OBS to just record my screen. So it's kind of a multi-purpose thing, and it's free. So anyway, hopefully that helps out. One other thing that might, I don't know much about it, but everybody's using Zoom these days. That might actually be viable. I don't know, but I haven't looked at it, but you may look into that too. So let's see, what else is happening? Mert's here, you made it, nice. Lots of people. Amber's here, Billy, sweet. Jim and Doug. Sorry, Doug, you missed out. It was a 50-50 shot on the giveaway, and you didn't win. So we're gonna have to do something for you, because you're a winner in my book, and I think that you deserve something. So down the road we'll have to do something. Let's see, who else is here? Daryl's here. And let's see, is there any other questions? I forgot to hit refresh. No, I hit refresh many times, and I watched it throughout the week, and it never changed. So it's just this is something that happens on YouTube a lot, where comments don't get posted. And from my end, and I don't think anybody else saw them either, there was people saying that they were having their other people look to see if the comment was working. They just didn't show up. So there's just not much I can do about that. Let's see here. I don't think they got filtered into spam either. I don't know. We're going to have to figure out some other way to do it, or just not do them at all if nobody's actually going to get entered into the giveaways. It really makes me mad because, these giveaways, they're just meant to be fun, and they're meant to be, a way for me to give back to my viewers. And for like half of them end up turning out where half of these people are just pissed off. And I'm just like, this is not working. That's not how this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. So anyway, but whatever, we'll move on. Let's see here. What else is going on? Eli's from California. Nice. Yeah, post where you guys are from. It's always fun seeing where you guys are at and watching from. Pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, my day's going pretty good. Thanks, Michael. All right, so let's see. And Josh just made it. Nice. Yeah, Daryl, I think you're right. Honestly, I think the universe conspired, because Jen totally deserved it. So let's see here. So we're going to switch to the other view, and hopefully this view will work pretty well and there aren't too many glares and craziness things going on. Let me get my tailstock out of the way here for a sec. All right, so I took away the other camera view as well. I don't know that you guys... Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. I took it away because I don't know that you guys just need to stare at my back in the bottom corner. I don't know how useful that is. And now you don't have to be bothered by that little thing. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, number one, I'm going to hit this with CA glue because I think that is the right way to go. We're starting out with CA glue on this one. Let me get my phone out too so I can check the comments while I'm over here. Let's see here. YouTube. Me. Here we go. There it is. Get to watch an ad on my own channel. That's fun. Don't get any ad revenue from it. That's what... Oh, man, it just burns me. So I'm just going to kind of douse this a little bit. Try not to get this all over my lathe. Just trying to add, if there's any little weak spots in these little chips. I don't know that these are going to necessarily just like completely come apart. I think what happens is when you get a small little chip of something, and this happens with the honeycomb blanks, even with my honeycomb a lot of times, when you get a very small piece of something that's not held on extremely well, it just chips out. It's not much is holding it on there. So I'm going to start out by dousing it, just so that we don't get massive chips right out the gate. I think I got CA glue on my bed. Dang it. No problem. I'll just hit it with a little acetone. There we go. Okay, so I've let that soak in a little bit. We're going to hit it with some accelerator. Give it a second to kind of think about what it's done. And then we'll start turning it. But I'm going to pull out the face mask right away. I don't trust this thing at all. And Crocs and socks. It's Crocs and socks time, guys. You guys love my Crocs and socks. I know you do. You're jealous. These are the Bistro Pros. They even have a nice footbed. Light Ride by Crocs. Oh my God. If you guys need some shop shoes, these are the way to go. I'm not even sponsored by them. Hey, Brian even made it. Nice. Have I ever made an eggshell bling? No, never done that. Never done that. I'm not even sure exactly what that is, I guess, technically. Eggshell. Is that where you like empty the innards out of an egg and fill it with resin or something like that? Or is it just like an eggshell? I've seen people do kind of like where they are, what are they doing? Seen it where they like do the puncturing. That's not what it's called, but they put little holes in it, in an eggshell, make little shapes. I don't know. Mike McEwen. How's it going, Mike? All right. So I was going to pull the skew chisel out and just see if that helped, but I got to be honest, that's probably just going to end in failure right off the bat. So let's pull out. I feel a little bit more confident with my gouge. I'm going to turn the dust collection on. Hopefully that'll suck the chips up. All right, are you guys ready for this? Well, that went okay. How's it looking? I mean, obviously we haven't taken much off yet, but that was all right. Nothing flew out yet. Dang. I'm surprised. A few little chip outs here and there. I think I'm gonna touch up my gouge real quick. It's fairly sharp, but I think we could do better. So let's do that before we even move on any further. So what do you guys think? Do you want that bottom camera view on, or do you like it without? Don't be scared. This skew just makes things exciting, yeah. Actually, I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I just, to be honest, I haven't used it at all for a long time. But it's not too bad on the beginning. It's where I really run into problems with the skew is when I'm like trying to, you know, touch things up at the end. That one more pass, that's when I get a nice big catch and everything's over. But it does leave a nice finish as long as you make it through and don't get a catch. All right. So for the most part, it looks like these things are actually staying in. It's like I said, that, you know, when you get just a little bit left, let's see if you guys can see this. I don't know if that's actually, see like right there. It's like just the very outside little round parts, that's what's chipping out, but the rest of it's staying in pretty well. So I'm going to switch to the negative rake now. Throw a little bit of negative rake carbide. That'll always brighten your day up. Do a little bit of shaping with that. I'm honestly pretty surprised, guys. I really thought these things were just gonna blow up in my face. What do you guys think of these things? They're looking pretty cool. I guess I had that way zoomed in. Let's get a different camera view. How about that? What do you think of that? I also forgot to plug my camera in, so that'll help. Let's get this view. I know you guys are tired of the Crocs. Let's get this kind of view going on here. Something like this. All right. Ah, that's good feedback, Jen. Thanks. My shorts are too baggy. Really? They're pretty tight, actually. I don't know. All right. Oh, we got things beeping at us. Blanks are ready. Okay, let's get going here. really not necessarily going easy on this either, so. There are no chip outs at this moment. I think we're doing pretty good here. Most of you guys probably know that the problems usually end up happening right at the end. Most blowouts don't occur like first step, which makes it even worse. You get through the whole turning and then it blows up. All right, I'm fighting my tool rest. We gotta wax it. I was like, no, it'll be okay. It's just a pen. Nope. It's not helping. How's it going, Art? I finally got the things listed, man. They've been pretty popular too. We got aluminum crinkles. I guess I forgot to mention that. The aluminum crinkles are listed, guys. They're up in my store. Add a little paste wax onto there. Should work a little smoother now. Oh, you don't even know how my shorts fit. Jeez, come on. The Blair Witch Project. Crocs rock, I know, man. You know what, actually, I've had a lot of them, and I haven't actually had good luck with them. They seem to be, I don't know, their sizing on a lot of them. I don't know if things have changed lately, but you pretty much have to try every single pair on until you find, and it could be like, you know, the same size, and you have to try like every one on in the store, or, you know, get 3 of them from Amazon and then send 2 back. I do like that Amazon wardrobe thing. That's actually, I use that for these. We're getting there. Still don't have any chip outs on the surface, I don't think, that I can see. Not at the moment, anyway. Oh, there we go. Oh, I just heard one. We lost a chunk. How bad is it? It's just a little guy. I don't even think I could show you guys on camera. So luckily, so far, it's just been little bits at the end of their lifespan. And that's not really that big of a deal. You can fill that. You can fill minor chips with just some CA glue if you have any at the end. Just about there. I'm kind of going easy on this. Since we made it this far, I'd kind of like to get to the end without any massive chips. I don't see any. Luckily, I think the shape of the jacks, you know, the more I think about it, like the resin's kind of wrapping around it. It's a 4-pronged thing. So I think that for the whole thing to come out would actually be kind of, I don't know how that exactly would happen in the first place. So we just have a tiny little bit to take off, so we're even with the bushings. I'm gonna pull out my R2. I kind of like to smooth things out with this one. All right, I think we're good. Should maybe plug the power connection into the back of my camera here. Let's get the camera over here so you guys can kind of take a look at it. I know I just zoomed in, sorry about that. So it's looking pretty interesting. Maybe not the best shaping I've ever done on a pen blank, but the jacks tended, I think they actually kind of floated a little bit. You can see there's a lot of white on the bottom. So that's one thing. That's how all the blanks are. They're a little bit more on the top surface of the blank, but I don't know, overall, seemed to work. Seemed to work fine. I'm actually really surprised. I really thought these things were going to be a giant pain. All right, let me stop real quick. Uh-oh. Looks like there's some super chats that I missed. OJ, super chat. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah, I thought they'd be kind of interesting, you know, colorful. I wasn't sure if they were really going to work at all. But, you know, yeah, the polka dots, I know, they're kind of cool. Hey, Terry's here. How's it going? Nice. I know, the little pear guy's awesome. Okay, we're caught up, I think. All right, so let me just give this one little, I think I'm gonna take just another little bit of a pass. This is a little proud on this side. All right, I think we're good now. I have no clue how these things are going to polish either. So I'm going to hit it with some, let's see here. Let's start with a little bit of 240 grit. Dust collection in little closer, slow this down. I'm just going to try and take some of these. It's kind of hard to see on something this shiny and pearly like this. It's really hard to see your like tool marks. So I'm just going to kind of go through. I have a feeling that these little jack things probably overheat easily. So I don't really want to do a whole lot of dry sanding on them. I'm just trying to get a sense of tool marks. I can't really even tell. I'm gonna actually drop down to 180. That'll be less. It'll kind of create less friction with a coarser grit, and also hopefully kind of show up a little bit better. Might need to just hit it with my light here. Or maybe I just did better than I thought turning it. Kind of doubt that though. So I just want to get this surface nice and smooth, and then I find it easier to try and smooth things out without water. That way I don't have to just dry it off every couple times to look at it. But I don't necessarily recommend dry sanding resins. You gotta watch the heat and the buildup on your paper. Alright, I'm having a tough time seeing exactly what's going on here. So let's just switch over to the wet sanding now. Go with 240 and just kind of go up through the grits. It's really hard to tell on this blank what's exactly going on. One other thing I wanted to mention, I did use a white tube, one of the powder coated ones. So Otis is here too. What's up? Man, everybody's here. Nice. I didn't abrade the jacks or do anything. I just tossed them in. All right. Let's see here. Alex is here. What's up, man? Okay. So let me pull out one thing that I had I gotta get a shot of this. I have to go get a new cup of water because I have a suicide fly in mine. I have a fly in my soup. He's dead. He thought it was going to be a fun bath, and it was not a fun bath. He got stuck in there. So let me go get a new cup of water. It was pretty nasty anyway. I think he was suicidal because I really can't see any reason to bathe in my sanding cup. Suicidal flies. Okay, so we got our water. Pull out the wet dry sandpaper. I've been finding I like that stuff. I don't know that I like it more than Abranet necessarily. I'm just going to keep using it. The one thing that seems, I don't know, and I don't wet sand a whole lot with Abranet, I guess, but because I've only been wet sanding with the silicon carbide, but it seems like it lasts forever. I don't know. Still using like the same pieces that I've been using for weeks. So I don't know. Silicon carbide might be kind of the way to go on these things. 220. Oh, I want to get a glove on. Either way, Abernet works, silicon carbide. They're all abrasives. Austin Powers then. Yeah, it does kind of. Yeah, I know that fly. He went nuts. Too much quarantine. All right, here we go. 220 grit. Out of my face. Light. The surface of this, there's kind of divots, and I don't know if there's... I couldn't see any... I don't think there's any chip out parts, but the jacks may be kind of sanding at a different rate. I don't know. This is one of those blanks that you could definitely put a CA finish on, and everything will be a little bit smoother, I think, in the end. I'm just kind of curious to see how these jacks polish up, though, on their own. So we're just going to go up through the grit, see what we get at the end. It might be better to put a CA finish on, maybe. I don't know. If the jacks don't really polish as well as the resin, it'll be kind of the same problem that you have with stabilized wood, where it's just a little bit dull compared next to the resin. So that's another reason to maybe put a CA finish on top if you want definite even glossy sheen across the whole blank. I'm thinking that might be enough with the 220 grit. Let's see what's going on over here. I'm going to hit it with the light here. I always find that I can see better with a raking light. Yeah, that's actually looking pretty good. I do think these blanks would probably be translucent. I think that it's probably a really good idea to do a white painted tube behind these. Otherwise, I think you'd see the brass probably. Turn the orange and blue blank. Nice. Nice. Is that one of the gator ones? I'm not sure exactly which one. I'm guessing that's probably a gator. Most of my color swirl blanks, they're made with Alumilite white resin, so it's a little bit softer. So they generally they turn like butter, which I really like. They're also solid, totally opaque. But I have kind of a mix. One thing that I really need to do is go back through my listings. Tough thing is there's hundreds of them, but I need to go through my listings and explain which ones are which, because there's no need to do any painting or anything like that on blanks that are made with Alumilite white resin, because it's totally opaque. Yeah, I like those blanks. You can turn them fast too. They definitely can handle a lot of abuse. Like once a year, I get somebody that emails me and says that they got a blowout and that the blank was made improperly, and I'm just like, man, if you got a blowout using Alumilite white, you might need to look into your turning style. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Always like to hear that. Angie's supposed to be working. Your blanks are on the way in the powder. They should be there probably end of the week, hopefully. I think it's pretty cool. I never had a job where I was working for someone else where when there was like live streaming happening where I could watch something while I worked. That would be awesome. I totally would do that all the time. All right, so we're doing 400 grit now. I'd say maybe one drawback to just regular silicon carbide paper is it's all just gray, you know, it's all the same color. They usually have lots of, you know, on the backing of them, lots of stuff, but, you know. I do like color-coded papers. They're a lot easier, but can't have everything. So I can finally announce to you guys, or let you guys in on the secret. So do you remember the Easter basket and eggs that I turned? So the entire time, like before I even started that project, that was supposed to be a Mother's Day gift. And I don't think I told anybody on the stream because my mom was actually watching some of my streams during that time. And I had to actually lie to her and say that it was already sold. She's like, I want to buy that. And I'm like, oh, sorry, it's gone. But she loved it. She really enjoyed that thing. Turned out pretty decent. And I switched it around. So I made that bigger egg and it really didn't fit in that basket or in the bowl very well. So I switched it out. I turned another smaller egg, so there's 3 of them, and then I'm going to be selling that other, the bigger egg sometime. We've had trouble getting pictures of it. It's so shiny, but that should be up soon. So yeah, I was pretty excited. I finally got to give it to her on Mother's Day yesterday. Been hiding it in the shop. Oh yeah, you really can't use mica powders in Alumilite white. They don't work. Mica powders need light transmission, so they really only kind of work with, I mean, at bare minimum, it has to be translucent, you know, semi-opaque. But in Alumilite white, they kind of, if you add a ton of it, it'll color the resin sometimes, but it's not pearly or it doesn't look good. Kind of a waste of the mica powder usually. They're just for dyes, and the reason I probably wouldn't, if I was getting into casting today, I don't know that I would have jumped into that realm. There wasn't that much information, and so I just started with Alumilite and started using that stuff. And one of the things that I like about it, I'm very lazy and I don't want to have to paint tubes for pen blanks, and so I liked the fact that it was opaque. I was like, I'm never going to have to paint tubes or worry about that with this. So I just started with that, and I like the team color. You know, I do a lot of team color blanks with that stuff, and it's pretty easy to match. Well, I shouldn't say it's easy. It took me months and months and lots of experimenting, but you can get colors really close, matching team colors and things like that. And so I like it for that reason, but it's really a one-trick pony, and I don't cover it ever. I've tried to cover things about it in the past, and it's such a short working time. Literally, it's hard in 2 minutes, and it's just, I don't really recommend most people use it, especially now. You know, you got the divine pigments. I mean, you can pretty much get the same look for the most part with any clear resin using those. So I don't know. I'm a good son. Well, yeah. Yeah, I know. Frank had the great idea with that grass. That stuff's perfect. I honestly think it's like a wood, like wood fibers or something like that. All right, I think I've sanded with 600 long enough. Let's move up to our polishing papers. 750 grit or so is what this one is. Yeah, it's like a flat. It's not. I don't know. If it's gonna turn it flat, I'd rather just pick a die out. It's gonna look. You have more control, I think, over what you're gonna get with dies using that. You know, in Alumilite white. I don't really. The other problem is I don't really recommend that you use it with wood. Alumilite clear or any clear resin is going to bond. Besides polyester resin. But epoxies and Alumilite clear are going to bond better to wood in other, like anything. So it's kind of a one-trick pony. It's a dyeable, you know, it's good for dyeing things, dyed colors and stuff, but it's kind of about it. I guess, you know, part of the, I'm actually trying to think back. I think part of the thing was it was just way easier to get colors matched with that, because all you're doing is, you know, with all I had back then was Alumilite dyes, which are transparent, most of them, unless you add white. And it was a pain having to add, you know, come up with these color combinations, adding white dye to it and doing all this stuff in clear. It was much easier just to add, you know, if I'm going for a specific shade of blue, just, you know, do a few experiments with blue and see what, until you get the right one, without having to add white and all these other things. Back to hibernation. All right, well, have a good one. Okay, so we got that one. Let's see here. We got gray is the next step here. Somewhere around 1150 grit. I'm not really paying that much attention to the surface of this. I'm just kind of going for a good amount of time. Should be okay, you know. I can kind of see the surface changing through each grit. I think I'm doing a thorough job on these. Good enough. There may be a scratch or two here and there, but once we buff it out, it should be fine. I'm pretty excited. I can't believe this this thing turned this well. I really thought we'd have more chip out. There's only like really minor, small pieces we got, so can't complain about that at all. It'll work with wood. I mean, I used to sell hybrid blanks, but really you're better off using a clear or an epoxy, Alumilite clear or an epoxy. It's just kind of a better way to go. The other problem with it is it's soft, and so a lot of times, especially if you're mixing it with stabilized wood, which is kind of hard, the Alumilite white sands at a different rate. It's way softer than the wood, and it's just not ideal. You're better off going with clear, you know, one of the clear resins. Dang, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna zoom you guys out. Don't look, because I'm gonna move the camera. I'm gonna get more of a straight on view. This thing's looking pretty good. I mean, really no complaints here. Focused. I mean, kind of interesting. Wish it was a little bit more evenly dispersed throughout the blank, but it's definitely kind of interesting. All right, so we got through the sanding. Now we're going to do a little bit of buffing, and then we'll put it on a pen kit. So this is a Sierra kit blank. Let me unplug my camera. It's just being a problem. There we go. But don't get me wrong. These are kind of my views on Alumilite white. I've kind of found that it works better for certain things. Personally, I don't use it. But if you're having good results, like, I'm not, don't listen to me. Let's see here. Ooh, a color wheel app, nice. That's awesome. Something was that a question about filling voids? Sorry, I'm looking at. Yeah, divine pigments are opaque. Alumilite is transparent. Yeah, it'll fill voids. That's true. It's a good one. It's so quick that it has a lot of good uses. It just I kind of tend to, for a lot of things, I'd rather use clear. But white is a cool resin also. Obviously, I use it. One of the nice things, you know, for me selling blanks and processing, cutting tons and tons of blanks up, being softer, it doesn't even affect my saw blades. I could cut 1 billion of those blanks and my saw blade's never going to get dull. Whereas, you know, epoxies and Alumilite clear, they're a little bit harder and they abrade the, you know, they wear on the teeth a little bit more on my blades. So that's kind of one nice thing that comes from the from Alumilite white. But it's so hard to use, and most people, the reason I've just quit doing anything with it on my channel is because when I used to, people would go and, you know, they've seen all these projects that people are making, most of which are an epoxy product or, you know, Alumilite clear slow set or regular set, one of those. And then they go and get Alumilite white, and it literally has a 2-minute working time, doesn't work with micas. Like, it's such a totally different thing that it's just a nightmare when people who don't really know exactly what's going on with it try it out. They usually hate it, so I just kind of quit messing with it. I think most people are better off buying a clear, which can be opaque. You know, you can use it for so many more things that I think it's just kind of, for most people, a better way to go. And most of the information out there is relevant to clear resins. So I'm using the Tripoli wheel, Tripoly, not to be confused with EEE, Ultra Shine Waxy Paste. This is a buffing rouge. It's kind of orange. So that's our first wheel here. That should get pretty much all your sanding scratches out. Then it's just a matter of bringing up the luster higher and higher. So as long as you've gotten your blank, or, you know, whatever you're buffing at this point, pretty much once you get it to about 1200 grit, maybe 1500, then this'll take out all those scratches, no problem. And I can't really see, this blank is kind of hard to, I'm just giving it a really good amount of time rather than try and inspect it with a microscope. And then the next one's white diamond. And I used to stop at white diamond, and it does look pretty good on pens, I find. However, I've started using that car polish, and man, I would say that's the way to go. Go with one step higher than white diamond. something a little bit finer kind of grit, and you get really good looking effects. It is possible. There's also one more buffing rouge, the blue, and I have some. The thing is, I really need to get another string buff. You also kind of need to have a wheel. You know, your buffing wheel needs to be pretty soft, like really soft, even softer than the white diamond wheel, if you're going to use a polish higher. That's what I've found. I've used the blue rouge on a white, the same wheel, and I didn't really get any better results. Definitely not the same as compared to using the string buff, the super fine wheel with the car polish. So I do want to get another string buff sometime and kind of test out that blue rouge and see if, you know, if you're using it with a really soft wheel, will that work equally well? You know, am I going to get the same results as the car polish? Because in the end, these are all just abrasives, whether you use micro mesh to 50 billion grit or, you know, white diamond and car polish and all these things, they're just abrasive amount of grit, you know. I just find that I get better results with the buffing wheels. I kind of find that most people do. More consistent, good results with them. I find it a little easier sometimes. But it's really up to you, you know, everybody's different. I kind of prefer the way the buffing wheels work. But this thing's looking pretty good so far. So, you know, in the past, I would stop here because it's nice and glossy. It's looking pretty good. But we're going to go one more step. We're going to make this thing out of this world. That's what car polish does. Out of this world gloss. I hope. Hope I don't lie to you guys on this one, but the plastic seems to be polishing fairly well also. So I don't know that a CA finish would be significantly better than this. So we'll have to kind of see after we get done with the car polish. Let me switch you guys around so you can see what I'm doing here. So I don't have another wheel set up on that little lathe. But I do have a tapered mandrel that can work on my lathe over here. So that's how I have this final wheel set up. And to you know, the tapered wheel would be an easy way to go for all the wheels. You know, there's lots of different ways to go. Another thing I could do is mount I don't know if it would fit on that mandrel, I guess, but you can mount another wheel on that mandrel that I have the other two on. So there's different ways to go. I kind of like doing it this way. That way people can see different options, I guess. You know, you can just get that Beal 3 on, and that works great. Or you could go with this setup. Another thing that I have, the mandrel is actually from Beal. So that's the tapered part, the Morse taper that goes in here. This thing is called a tapered mandrel, and they're actually meant to go on a buffing machine, but it works because it goes onto this little tapered Morse taper. But Beal sells this thing that would go onto their you know, replace this tapered thing, and they just screw in. They have all kinds of different wheels that you can buy individually. They also have a string buff as well, which I would have probably just bought theirs when I bought mine. But they were closed due to the pandemic stuff. I think they're open now though. So that's kind of a simple way to get all of them. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. Whew. You guys are like, shut up. Show me the pen blank. I don't want to hear anymore. Let's see what you guys are up to. Yeah, and frankly, I you know, I've been doing this kind of stuff for quite a while, and I've kind of stolen Ben over at Ben's Works, his setup. He uses the silicon carbide paper wet, and then, you know, goes up through, he does one step a little bit different. He uses like I think he uses EE triple E ultra shine stuff Either that or Yorkshire grit, one of them. He uses a paste on a buffing wheel and then goes to car polish. So he has a little bit different. I don't really like the waxes and the oils in that stuff, so I don't really see the point of doing that. I don't want a waxy blank particularly. So I don't do that personally, but I do the other two buffing wheels and then car polish at the end, and it's just his stuff. It was like glass. It literally looked like glass, and I was like, I gotta try this car polish thing out. Seems like the way to go. I don't know, and it did add some, it changed things. That's why I'm sticking with it. So I'm using Meguiar's 105. There's lots of brands, lots of different things. I tried a few. This is the one that I seem to get the best results with. But Ben uses a turtle wax. Other people use other stuff. A lot of people like, should have put the wheel on first. A lot of people like the Plastex, which is another Meguiar's product. Tried that. I get better results with this stuff personally. But as long as it's a high grit, fine polish, you're good. Should be good to go. Yep, that definitely it adds a little something to this, glossier. I don't know why I'm always surprised by this. Definitely is nicer than white diamond. Just adds a little pop. Okay, so let's get this camera kind of situated somehow. Look at that. I mean, that is shiny. Look at even my stick is shiny after the car polish. It's looking pretty good. All right, so time to assemble this puppy. I'll take my wheel off. We're done with that. What time is it? I'm doing pretty good. Wow. Look at that. Okay. Car polish away. Turn you guys towards, I'm just going to kind of have you zoomed a little bit out. It's kind of dark over here. Oh, sorry about that. But you get the gist. I'm just going to press in the back part on a Sierra pen kit. Good thing I bought some Sierras the other day. Where are they at? Ooh, let's go with a Virage, actually. Did I not buy Virage Chrome? There they are. Let's go with a Chrome Virage kit. A few more little steps to this one, but compared to a Sierra, but I like the shape of the Virage kit. All right, so actually, we're gonna switch gears here. I'm gonna get you guys in here so you can see the Virage kit. The Sierra is easy. It's just the only thing that you press is the back end. The Virage is a little bit different, and I always kind of have to look at all the parts before I do it, just to make sure I'm putting everything in the correct place. It's not really that difficult, but let's get a light on over here. Okay, so in the kit, you got a couple of tubes. This is just your main tube, so I can put that away since we're already done. You have your nib, nib side. You've got a clip, and it's like a Sierra. It's the same thing, just a single blank twist pen. And then you got all you see, there's like a lot of little random components here and there, like little brass things and stuff going on. It's not that difficult. You just got to put the parts where they go, So let's see here. I got to look at what's going on. All right, so I know that this piece goes into the nib. this little short brass section. So let's do that. I'm probably going to be right in the way of the camera. I think I'm actually going to do it this way. One thing that I really think that I might do is switch out wood, or at least have some little HDPE things that have kind of a cone shape cut out in the middle for when I'm pressing parts like this. Okay. Just going to double check that I got that buried. Yep, okay. So we got that part, and then this little doodad, you want to put your clip, actually you're going to put your clip this way. I know this isn't the greatest tutorial, but, and then that's going to go into the little end cap thing. There's instructions also, like on Turner's Warehouse. If you don't, oh, I got my gloves stuck in there. If you're not entirely certain what's going on. So I like to kind of push that in just a little bit, make sure that I've gotten everything good to go. Okay, oops. So we got that, and I don't know why they can't just press these parts together before they send it to you, you know. Seems like that would be a smart way to go. But we can handle it. Okay, and then this little bit, this little guy, you're going to press that into the end of this little part. Okay, you want to make sure that's nice and snug, and then your transmission will twist into that. Not too hard. There's just, you know, sometimes when you open it, I even have to kind of sit and stare at these parts every time and go, which one goes where? And so I just put my ink in. It's working good. And here's our blank. Man, that thing's looking pretty wicked. Shiny. Okay, so I think that this is going to be the opposite side of where the clip goes. I think I'm actually gonna go this way maybe, or yeah, I think I like it like that. We're gonna kind of split these two little dots with the clip. Okay, hopefully you guys can see me pressing these things. I don't really look. All right, that's pressed in there, and just shove this guy down in. It twists on the nib side. So let me get you guys out where there's light. Really need to kind of angle these lights better, but anyway, let's come over here. I'm digging this thing. It's actually looking pretty cool. That turned out way better than I expected. Since it actually turned out. I didn't think this thing was going to make it, honestly. Hey, thanks for the super chats, guys. You guys rock. So, we made it through the turning, and man, it's actually, I mean, I haven't even really given this a really good look, and man, not bad. It's not probably going to work too well. I'll get better shots on Instagram. Video shots of it. But yeah, not too bad. So I guess these blanks are viable. I will say that, you know, this is, again, these are definitely Dunkin' junk type things. So, you know, turn at your own caution. But I should get these things. I need to get a little like video and a picture of these guys. And I'll get them up on my website probably maybe end of the week, something like that. I don't know, in a couple days. Yeah, so, and I got another Sierra. I made two of them because I really thought the first one was just going to fly apart. But I guess it worked out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, I really like the drill press, Nicholas. I had so I used to use clamps. I really from the get-go I never understood. I wasn't going to pay 60 or $80 for a horizontal pen press thing. I was like, I got clamps. So I just used a parallel clamp. And I did that for a long time, and then I saw actually OJ was using a little mini arbor press, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant, vertical. You know, you're not fighting gravity where the parts are kind of sagging. They're all kind of lined up, and I liked that little arbor press, but it had some limitations I didn't like. You always had to I always had to mount it on something. And I was looking around and I'm like, there must be a different, something else I could use. And then I look at my drill press and I'm like, oh, duh, that's just a big arbor press. So it's a pretty simple way to go if you have a drill press. But, I was looking into it, and I mean, some of those pen presses, if the options are go buy a pen press or go buy a drill press, I mean, you can get a drill press for like pretty cheap on Amazon. I mean, it's not going to be the most amazing machine, but I mean, I think you could basically buy a very cheap drill press for the same price as some of these presses. Definitely, well, that was the other problem I had with that little arbor press. People would ask me about it, and for a long time you couldn't get them anywhere. Then Grizzly sold them, and they were $80. And I'm like, I wouldn't pay that. I only paid like 30 for mine. So it's a good way to go if you have a drill press. But a drill press is a good thing to have too, and they're generally not that expensive. So if you can maybe set aside some money, hopefully down the road you got a pen press and a drill press. Clip on white. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The problem is then it would have all been all the parts would, I don't know. I don't look at the bottom of my pens. I hold them usually with the clip up, so that's why I don't really do it that way. But yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it turned out okay. Yeah, and you can use your lathe actually. That's a good point. I kind of advocate, I don't know. I find it's just more logical to do it vertically, I think. I'm trying to find some. I have yeah, here they are. I bought these, and these are really cheap. So if you have a lathe, I don't know where I got these. Penn State maybe, something like that. I don't know. But these just go into your tapers. This one even has a little doodad for your what I was talking about with the nib. So it'll kind of hold it in there. And it's not a bad setup. And the reason I bought this is because at Maker Central last year, when I went to the AAW in Portland a couple years ago, I was going to do a pen turning demo, and I'm like, how am I going to assemble the pen? So I ended up buying this in case I needed it. And I actually used it for that, and it worked fine. It's still the same problem that I had with the horizontal thing. So those things are not a bad thing to pick up, especially if you have a small shop and you don't want a drill press or other things kind of hanging around that are kind of useless. That's a really good way to go. Just pop it in a drawer. So let's see here. Let me scroll up a little bit. Yeah, it totally reminds me of the 80s. That's right. Let's see here. No, see, now there's a smart idea, Doug. Screw the pen press to the wall, and you have a vertical press. But I still wouldn't pay for that. I mean, I think I would screw a clamp to the wall. Those things are really expensive. Those pen presses. I was like, no, I can't. I'm not spending money on this one. Cheap drill presses don't drill straight holes. That's probably true. And even my drill press, that thing's pretty hefty and big. And I even refurbished everything. We put all new bearings and everything, and it still doesn't drill as super accurate. Not as accurate as I would want. So I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on the Nova drill press. I was looking at the Powermatic, but I've seen too many complaints about that one, whereas like the Nova I think is a pretty good one, and it has a couple other advantages. Let's see. Oh yeah, the press is for holding drills. Not too bad. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, guys, I think I've seen all the little questions. And anyway, I appreciate you guys all joining the fun tonight. I'll get some pics up and a video of this thing a little bit later on here. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this thing. It turned out pretty good. I don't know. I don't know why I was so concerned about these. I guess the reason was I cut them on the table saw and there was lots of little chip outs. I don't know if you can see them. See on the edges there? And it just kind of, I was like, oh man, these things are going to be really tough. But they turned pretty well, and we got a pen out of it. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Like I said, the nurse and the EMS, Emergency Medical Services blanks are available on my website, as well as the aluminum crinkle ornaments. I just added a ton of stuff. The stopper blanks for the golf tees, the crinkle ornament stopper blanks, and I don't know, all kinds of other stuff. So head over there if you're looking for blanks or anything like that, or the aluminum crinkles. And I should, hopefully maybe on Wednesday, we'll start that aluminum crinkle sphere project maybe. We'll have to, I hope that'll work out. I don't think there's anything else that I'm going to slide in at the, the last minute this week. So anyway, guys, I will see you all on probably Wednesday, unless something catastrophic happens and I can't do the stream. If not, definitely on Friday, we'll do a little bit of resin casting. So have a great evening. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you guys on the next stream.